Call like Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Padash, and double honors to the elders and apostles who do rule well and taught us this truth. And peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. And just listening to the elder apostles video, got inspired to just go ahead and do this. I don't have that much time on and I have to do it like this. I don't have a mic, so just bear with me. You go into the Hellenistic period between the Greeks, Cleopatra, Ptolemy, and then before that, the rebuilding of the temple, because King Darius had actually, he was spreading lies upon the Jews during the time of the Babylonian kingdom, when the Babylonian king was in charge. The true Jews, which we call ourselves today, which we believe about the spirit, we're being called back to being who we are in the name of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay? And at that time, it was a big controversy over the temple, because they was doing profane things in the land. And I'm gonna get that real quick, just show that in the scriptures. When you read Esdras 5:1, it says, you can do this on your own. Esdras 5:1, it says, then the prophets Haggai, the prophet Zechariah, the son of Edo, prophesied unto the Jews that were in Judah and Jerusalem, northern and the southern kingdom, same concept. It says, in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of Israel, even unto them, by way of the Spirit, you have to be able to pick these things up, because that which is then is now. It says, then rose Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua. It says, the son of Jozadak, and began to build the house of Yasharallah, the house of Yasharallah, of power, which is at Yasharallah, the house of power, which is at Yasharallah, the house of Yahweh, which is in Jerusalem, which is in Yasharallah. He's never going to get rid of his people. It says, and with them, there were prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua helping them. At that time, came to them Tatnai, governor on this side of the river, in Sheth Bazna, and their companions said unto them, who commanded you to build this house and to make this wall? Now we go into that word of who that is. Let's see who that is, man. Because that which is in is now. You got it, and they're right. You have to know this. It says Star Splendor, a Persian officer in the reign of Darius. And then this also when you get into Esther, Esther was in reign during the reign of the Persian king, during the Achaemenid Empire. When they were when you get into the Achaemenid Empire, that was literally during the time when they started implementing those Islamic Arabic beliefs. I'm probably butchering it, but yeah, it's the same concept. And we never, so those that stuck to the customs, they knew who their God was. They knew who their power was. They wasn't going to stand. They never let go of the names of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Understand that. Because that's why the name matters, man. If you're doing it any other name, man, you coming in some other way. It said, then we said unto them after this manner, what are the names of the men that make this building? It was keeping an eye on them. But the eye of our power was upon the elders of Yasharallah, the true elders, which I believe is that GMS. That they could not, because wherever we are Yasharallah. Wherever we are the temple. Yahweh Shah opened that up to us already, with his body being a living sacrifice. But that's just something else. This is just in regards to the temple. It says, but the eye of their power was upon the elders of Yasharallah, of the Jews. It says that they could not seize them till the matter came to Darius. And then they returned and answered by letter concerning this matter. It says the copy of the letter that Tatnai, the governor on this side of the river, and we already read that. It says they sent a letter unto them wherein was written thus, unto Darius the king, all peace, right? That's what they claim, peace and safety. It says, but a sword be in their hands, man. It says, be it known unto the king that we went into the province of Judea to the house of the great God, the great power, which is builded with great stones, and timber is laid in the walls. It says, in this work, when you keep reading in Ezra 5 and 8, it says, and timber is laid in great walls, and this work goeth fast and prospereth in their hands. Then asked those elders and said unto them, thus who commanded you to build this house and to make up these walls? Because there was a controversy between the elders who was and who wasn't, because they was building a lot of things was going on in the temple, man. They were getting, this is like centuries before the Greeks of Alexander the Great even, vanquished they ass about 2,000 years before he even vanquished. He conquered those lands. And he did it, and the Lord said this is going to happen. When you read Daniel, it talks about the realm, because they was doing all kind of profane shit in the temple. Excuse my language, man. But they were, charged, they were, trying to place the blame on us, but they were forcing this. They were forcing a group of people to adhere to a lifestyle, man. And that's why when you go over here to Esdras 10, reconciliation with our power. Now skip all the way down and you go to the list of offenders. That's where you get into the prayer of Manasseh. Because, the northern kingdom was doing all kind of profane stuff in the temple too. This is the one I wanted to focus on. All these had taken strange wives, and some of them had wives by whom they had children. All these had taken strange wives, and some of them had wives by whom they had children. So there was a lot of things going on that nobody was talking about. A lot of secrets that was being, exposed. Now let's go over here to, this is when you get to Nehemiah. Nehemiah actually was charged to be able to go and rebuild the temple. Let's go right here. It says, and they said unto me, the remnant that are left in captivity and the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Yasharallah also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burnt with fire. Who did that? This is when Alexander the Great was actually going through conquering these lands, man. And then after that, you get into the Ptolemy Empire. And Ptolemy was a Greek, and his daughters of Antiochus, and that's why I got more examples of that here. You can get into this history on your own. But it said, this is what it says. It came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God, the power of heaven, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord. That's all caps. What does that say? I beseech thee, O Lord, O Yahweh, the existing one. The power of heaven, the great and terrible God that kept the covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes be open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, the children of Yasharallah, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Yasharallah, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. Okay, we have dealt very corruptly against thee. And yes, they did. You see these things in Jeremiah. That's why Jeremiah cursed them, man. It says, we have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor statutes, nor the judgment which thou commandest thy servant Moses. And that's why we're being drafted in by Yahweh Shai. That's why the beauty of Yahweh Shai is so important, man. The grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai. No other way are you getting in. Salakia for all that, man. It's Nehemiah 1 and 8. It says, remember, I beseech thee, the word of the commandments I mean, it's the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter ye among the nations. So we've been scattered among the nations. Now I'm gonna get into a little history that I have here, and this is why this is so important. Second Ezra 6 and 3. It says, before fair flowers were seen, or ever movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or the chimneys of Zion were hot, in air in present years were sought out. Call Yamla Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, for bringing us back in. Bahashem Waharakah Kodash, through the Holy Spirit, which can't be given to everybody. Anyways, it says, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure. They have gathered faith for a treasure. Now skip down here. It says, then I answered and said, what shall the parting asunder of those times? What shall be the parting asunder of those times? Excuse me. It says, or what shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, for Abraham said unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob held first the heel of Esau. The heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. These, it says, the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. So like it says, other question, Ezra asked not, thou not. I answered then and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, if I have found favor in thy sight, I beseech thee, thy servant, the end of thy tokens, whereof thou shewest me the part of last night. So he answered and said unto me, stand up on thy feet and hear a mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a motion, but the place where thou standest shall not be moved. And that's where we are today, because our bodies are being made a living sacrifice. And that's why we believe in this by way of faith. By way of faith, not by anything that you can do carnally, because it's not that we was kicked out. I mean, it was prophesied that this was going to happen through the book with the history that they stole and they lied about. And I was listening to the elder and I was looking at this here. You know, on the first page, really. You know, it says the Jewish nation, for this reference, the Syrians of Palestine, who practice circumcision, may point to the Philistines rather than to the Jews. Forgot, what do they call them, man? It wasn't Palestinians, man. I can't think of them right now, man. Because I mean, you know, it's just, you know, but, you know, just showing that we was amongst them, but they weren't. Everybody there was not a Jew. You know, this had to be given by way of the Spirit, by way of faith, man. Faith has been the treasure thing, the chief treasure thing in mourning since the beginning. And the Lord is hearing our cry, man. You got to believe that. Now look at this. This is when I get into Cleopatra. You can look this up on your own. And I know this is not, you know, this is not throwing shade or anything. This is what we are told to do. It says Cleopatra made a deal with the Romans, primarily with Julius Caesar, to secure her position as queen of Egypt. And we're not Egyptian. She's using you. And then today that would be these modern day Egyptians, so-called two-headed beasts, known as Democrat and Republican. I do remember saying that. It says by forming an alliance with him, which included a personal affair In exchange for supporting their claim, the throne and assuring Egypt remained largely autonomous from Roman rule. She later represented this strategy with Mark Antony, though this utterly led to a Roman conquest of Egypt following the Battle of Antietam. So understand that. Cleopatra was a Greek, man. And those Greeks, she was under Antiochus, which he was taken over by the Romans because she made a pact with the Romans. But then there was Esther, who actually, before that came in the past, she charged them. She actually was advocating for them to rebuild the temple. She didn't give a damn about the gold and shit. She cared about her people. Understand the difference. If you don't, that just means the spirit ain't dealing with you. Cleopatra, a common name to several Egyptian queens. There's that queen of heaven spirit Jeremiah was talking about. The most important are whom followed Cleopatra the first, daughter of Antiochus the third, Laodice. I can't say that. Salakia, daughter of the Mithridates. You can see it right there. Daughter of the Mithridates, Queen of Pontus, Antiochus III. Taking advantage of Egypt's weakness, conquered Judea, proceeding along with the west coast of Asia Minor. Okay? So they made deals for these devils to take over the true people. Know that we've already been here. And you see when you get into the history of Cleopatra, man. You know, I'll post these into the description box, man. So you can do this research on your own. All of them. You know, I just wanted to show that, you know, yes, the elder is right. The elder apostle is right. They were charged to do that by these different, well, actually, Esther was actually charging them to rebuild the temple with the real Jews, the real, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I just say, you know, the children of Yasharallah who was moving in faith, man, trying to prove that they were the true people because we got scattered. Because everything that was doing in the temple, but they said they were sorry. Now they got it. Now they have to show it. They had to show it. And how did they show it? How did Esther show it? How did they show it? The Lord used many different ways to show his people. Many different ways of mercy. But you Jakes reject mercy, man. And I'm going to post everything in the scriptures, man. I mean, in the description box. Read Ezra's. I'm going to read it for you. Because Haman was an Amalekite. And the Amalek is not done away with. Still in our land today. It says, so the king of Haman came to a banquet with Esther, the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day, at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted unto thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even unto half the kingdom. And Esther, the queen, you know what I'm saying? She was made queen because she was one of us the whole time. Esther, queen, answered and said, if I have found favor in the sight, O king, if it please thee, please the king, let my life be given me at petition, and at the people at my request, at my people at my request. It says, for we are sold, I, my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, to be perished. But if we have been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Then King Assyrius, this during the Achaemenid Empire, Assyrius answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he? And where is he? that dude's pursuing in his heart to do so. And Esther said the adversary and enemy is wicked Haman. Now, he was an Amalekite. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. Understand something. Haman. It says chief minister of Assyria, minister of he was an Amalekite, man. Of Mordecai and the Jews who plotted to kill the Jews, but being foiled by Esther, was hanged with his family on the gallows he had made for Mordecai. So yes, it's the same thing that was going on then. It's just like Herod the Great, man. He had the same spirit as Herod the Great. Just like these devils today, man, in our land. He never said we was gonna get back in there by Balfour Declaration. If the true people is there, there would be peace. But the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, said he's gonna bring us back in there. And that's where our faith lies, man. It ain't to get violent, it's just to let you know we are who we say we are, man, by way of the spirit, by way of faith. So call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. Shalom.